You're listening to the Warlord Radio Podcast.
Yeah, man. All right. Ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome back, Warlords. This is the Warlord Radio
You
Podcast.
didn't even start your timer, man.
God damn it, Carrick. I'm trying to do an intro.
No.
You know, I don't think we've had one clean start off to an episode
No,
yet.
I thought that was our thing. I thought we were striving for that.
Either way, by habit or just by accident, that's how it works
I'm
out.
just bad at this job.
We're perfect for the interview then.
So we are lucky to have the Grant Morrison Project here in the house, and we got a couple of members. Would you do us a favor and introduce yourself, guys?
Yeah, I'm Grant, the front man and lead guitar player for the Grant Morrison Band. And this here is Jason. He's our drummer. We actually were two of the founding members of this band, and we've been together ever since. So, you know.
Yeah, kind of a long relationship.
Yeah.
How long you guys been together?
Nothing weird though. I mean,
Nothing weird. You say
Hey,
it.
man. This is Warlord Radio.
Dude.
You let your freak flag
No,
fly.
we're platonic, dude. We're totally
Just
platonic.
forget I said that.
The more
I
you
support and love you.
the more you say that, though, the less I believe it. It's kind of like going up to someone and being like, "I am not a rapist."
Yeah.
That's a really rapisty thing to say.
Right? Exactly. So
Your title
There's a
is
Squidbillies
The Rapist.
episode.
Squidbillies, yeah, right.
Yeah, he thought it said therapist. It said the rapist.
I
right.
found that show way too relatable. I just had to stop watching it. I was like,
Just kind of hurt a little
these
bit.
hillbilly squids remind me of my family.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's kind of hard to warm up to, though. You know, that Squidbilly stuff. I don't get off on those cartoons, man.
You're not smoking enough pot?
I guess maybe so. Yeah,
Not
Need
the
to
right
regiment.
kind or something.
Right?
Trailer Park Boys is coming out with
Strain?
a cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, a cartoon?
Yeah,
It's like,
no,
oh my
well,
God.
probably, yeah. It's called Ricky Bobby. No,
Oh,
but,
shit.
You're not first, you're last.
yeah. Oh, that's Talladega. We're way off.
Right?
No, you said Ricky Bobby.
Right. So, how did you guys get started?
Well, I've been playing music for a long time. I came up as a drummer, and I fiddled around with other instruments and things. With the guitar and bass here and there, and I love bass. Carrick, if you play bass, you know how good it feels to just get up there.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. Being a Thunder God is like one of the best
yeah.
feelings in the fucking world.
Yeah, powerhouse.
It's great.
Yeah. So like the rhythm's always been my thing, and you know I played in local bands here around town. I played in a band called Apocalyptic Warfare.
Okay.
We played the Rail, you know, the Circuit, Pitchers back when Pitchers was still around.
Pictures. I remember that place well. That was a dive right there, man.
You needed a pitcher because it was so freaking hot in there. You couldn't
Yeah, no AC. Play
yeah.
there in July and August, and it was just like a pit that smelled like stale cigarette smoke and beer.
Fucking love those guys.
It was a good place. It was a good place to catch a show, but it was definitely heavy on the ambiance right there.
Yeah, the parking lot's cooler now than it was when the building was up.
Like, I have a way smaller chance of gaining hepatitis from this parking lot.
Yeah,
For real. So we played that circuit. Me and Charlie Porter. I got to give a shout out to my brother. He's playing with Prophecy now. So he's moved on. He's kind of upgraded since then. We had another band a few years ago called Magnetic Shift, and we were lucky enough to play TXDM Fest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've got a T-shirt with their band name on the back of it and everything. So
yeah. He's repping the Deep Ellum Metal Fest shirt.
woo! Oh!
That is one
Nice.
of those events that I look forward to every year just because it's like I get to go see all my friends and drink a shitload of beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were down there, myself and the rest of the band, watching Diesel Beast play at this year's Deep Ellum Metal Fest, and just
That was fun.
marveling at how crazy it is down in Deep Ellum on the weekend now. Where
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
a zoo.
Protest or something that night too.
Yeah.
That made me
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
Was that about law enforcement or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure of entirely the details, but I know it had something to do with
Some shithead did something and then got off on it. I think that was
Yeah.
that happens
He-
a lot.
He whipped this girl's ass, man.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a bartender or something down there,
Yeah.
right?
Apparently.
Okay.
And,
So they caught him?
And it's on
Oh,
video.
they got like the whole fucking thing on videotape.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, he's waylaying her. I mean, he's uppercutting, but she never went down, so
That's so shitty. And that's what that
I
protest?
couldn't believe it because he
Cheers
was
to a sturdy
waylaying her.
gal.
man.
I mean, as fucked up as that sounds.
A sturdy gal.
I'm sure his mom
She's
was
not gonna
proud.
go down. I respect that.
Well,
Fuck,
she
that's
took
up.
it, man. She
But
shoved him right
and
back.
I guess
so.
the dude got off on like some bullshit technicality, and there was quite a few very
Oh,
angry
yeah.
people down there that night.
Well, that makes me angry.
Plus,
Yes.
plus just the
Just deep
insane
element.
crowd
Yeah.
down there. So
Culturally, as well as just hype.
yeah,
They're so live down there, man. You got the hip hop scene,
Right.
and then there's really like some in between. I don't get out there a whole lot,
There's a
you know.
million scenes that clash there nightly. I mean, I say clash, but I mean like there's just it's got
Yeah.
all
There-
kinds of shit.
yeah, it's kind of divided up where it's like like one street, one block will
Yeah.
be kind of like punk metal, underground rock, and then the next street over will be rap, hip hop, and then the next street over will be dance clubs.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
it's like, and then like a couple of blocks down, there's like a country western bar.
Really? I don't think I've been down that far.
They're hit. There's a lot of places
There
closing.
is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it varies, but Double Wide has like a
Oh,
wide
yeah, Double
variety
Wide.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
of
That
different
place is
bands that
fun to
play there.
too.
Yeah.
I watched a guitar player puke in one of those decorative toilets that they have as flower pots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Good times.
Is that Alex, your
Yes.
guitar player?
Yeah.
Oh
God,
wow.
yeah, shout out to Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting torched.
He got trashed that night. That was bad.
He got shit on beer break though.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true. Yes.
wow, dude.
Shout out to Delta
Shout out
Beer
to
Break.
Beer Break.
Hell yeah. Pit
You
Bulls.
saw Beer Break this most recent Deep Elemental
Metal Fest,
Fest,
yeah.
but you haven't seen him previously, right?
No, I haven't.
So I don't know if you know this, but like their singer Delton, who's part of the Pit Bulls, is that he gets so hammered he pukes on stage
Oh, no shit.
every show,
Nice.
Oh, wow.
every show.
That's commitment to your bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he
yeah.
will
He
literally,
doesn't die.
like when they play, he'll
Gotta have
bring
the
up,
gimmick, man.
he'll bring up like 8 old Milwaukee's bests and just be like
Oh.
every song. And bear in mind, they're playing
That
like
shit
SOD
will prepare them,
crossover. Like they'll play a 2-minute song and they'll chug beer.
That alone will make
Chug
you want to
beer.
throw up playing
Yeah.
those 2-minute, just blazing through it,
Oh, yeah.
But they're really talented, and all the other members drink too.
Yeah,
He gets what is
they're dedicated to their craft.
Hey,
Let's
man,
put
I
it that way.
respect that. I respect
yeah,
that.
not as in beer, but
Yeah, so
also as in
check
beer.
out Beer Break. They got a bunch of stuff out like online and on streaming and stuff. But killer dudes, great band.
I
Yeah.
support anybody that like works getting trashed into their act as long as the music's still good. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's a hard toe to like, or line to toe rather.
Yeah, that's
Well-
an art form.
I
Yeah,
don't do it well.
I think most of us don't get enough credit.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair enough.
That's right. Grant's like, God damn it.
I might.
I do my
sell
part.
Myself short.
Yeah, half a gram of some smack and fucking.
Half a gram of some smack.
I'm like, I need some respect.
got a towel for
You
a
won't
second.
fall over. You will lean like a motherfucker.
Yeah, man. So we got tired of playing metal and stuff, and well, not really tired of it, but it's just it's
Sometimes you want to change it up, man. I've been in a billion different kinds of bands. Like I get bored sometimes, and I want to do something else for a while.
It's true. This
Okay,
guy
yeah,
will.
exactly.
I mean, even to this day, like he'll be a part of his dad's projects, plural.
Yeah, whatever
Bone
my dad's
Doggy,
up
and
to.
like they'll be playing like weird lounge music or like where they'll cover like Rocky Horror Picture
You're
Show.
fucking up my whole brand.
I know, man.
oh wow,
Like,
that's
I
cool,
mean,
dude.
I don't know if I'm fucking it up if you're playing like
Yeah,
the Denton
fair
Jazz
enough.
Festival,
yeah,
you
I'm tagging
know.
myself in that shit.
That's awesome, man.
No,
Yeah.
I just.
But yeah, he's well rounded. Let's put it that
I
way.
can play a lot of different styles. Just metal's my favorite,
Yeah.
and that's the one that keeps calling to me.
Some people don't understand it, but for me, it's like there's studies and stuff that say that metalheads are generally happier than people that listen to rock and
Man, think
jazz
about how
and stuff.
fucking miserable I'd be if I didn't listen to metal.
Shit, dude.
Holy shit.
I did
It's
see
probably just
something.
a good outlet, you know. It's
It
just
is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did
It's like having a
actually
beer after work,
see
for
something
sure.
where they did a study on what music plants responded to most, of where they would have a greenhouse and they had like a big PA system set up in different greenhouses, and they would play different things from pop to country to rap to like old school rock and roll to
Yeah.
heavy metal to, and then one of them just had nothing. And the ones that grew the fastest were playing metal. Now they don't know why. Maybe it's the vibrations of the music or something.
It makes
like
sales
that.
grow.
But yeah, it actually
Something
they responded
probably
most.
stimulates
I
them or
believe that
something.
the music is conjuring the roots up from hell.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
so
know.
that they can exact their leafy revenge on humanity.
There you go.
Satan.
Exactly. Don't get me though. I love you, sweet leaf.
That's right. So, what about you, Jason? Like, what are some of the previous projects that you've been involved in?
Well, I've been around for a while. I played with a band. We did some shows at Skillman Street.
Yeah.
In Cardona. We was kind of obscure.
Mm-hmm.
Went through a bad divorce, so I kind of got out of it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You glad to be back?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am, because, when I first met her, she was cool with it, and then it kind of got, you're practiced too late, and this and that.
Oh, you're
that
still
kind of
doing it.
happens. Right.
Right, when you're,
You're not
18,
making
she's
enough-
like, "You're in a band," and when you're 24, she's like, "You're in a band."
Right. You're not making enough money.
Yeah.
and you're spending a lot.
I told my
So-
wife, like, on the altar, I was like, I will never be a rich man. Like,
Yeah.
apparently I'm allergic to money. I just run
You
from
could
it.
win the lottery. Don't sell yourself short, brother.
You gotta play the fucking lottery though, and I
That's
don't
true.
spend money
Yeah.
on just cardboard. I'm sorry, that bothers me.
Man, I don't either, dude. I pick my gamble. I pick my battles, man. Sometimes I'll go out and play like Keno or something
Uh-huh.
on just a game machine at the corner store, and like if I'm feeling really lucky,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna hit. I know I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit. And like, the only times I've ever done that, which is like twice.
Yeah.
I've had good luck, so I leave it at that.
So you're one of those people I see.
Yeah, like
Shit.
fidgety.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
get it
yeah,
now.
cleaning, real fidgety. Trying to fix something, but instead it's just broken.
Yeah.
That's the most stressed out I am. I am not a gambler. I have a lot of other vices. In fact, one can say I primarily run off my vices.
Right.
Yeah.
But gambling's just not one of them.
I'm actually with you on that. Like, I don't play lotto or anything
Maybe I'm
like that.
cheap. I don't like, but when I'm in a casino, I'm just stressed the fuck out.
I just
Yeah.
know I'm not going to win. I'm like, this is pointless. I can throw my money away on other things.
It
I mean,
doesn't take long, but some people do have luck. Some people are like
No,
incredible.
my wife will go in and
Oh, yeah.
clean up, dude. She'll come out like $400 up. I could go in there with $5,000 and walk out with like a free drink coupon.
Right, yeah. Complimentary guest stay
I wish.
for going
I wish.
broke.
They're like, you can sleep behind our dumpster and we won't call the cops.
Yeah, you went broke today. You get a free room.
Yeah.
No, I remember we went to Laughlin one time and my wallet got stolen in the elevator. Because I was young, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So,
Like, was it on you and somebody lifted
it was on me,
pickpocketed
but
you?
it was in my back pocket. If you're in a casino,
Oh.
you should wear your fucking wallet in your front pocket. Like,
Yeah.
make them work for it. Like,
Right.
If you're going to do that, you're going to grab something else, too.
That's right.
Yeah, well, if you do that, I'm going to pay you anyway. So what's the
Exactly.
difference? You know what I mean?
But no, so my wallet got jacked, and I remember I went there at like a boardwalk in Laughlin. And I brought my guitar, so I went down to the boardwalk and I bust some cash, and then I gave it off, passed it off to my wife, and she went in and like quadrupled it. And I was like, "Stop spending money. We need to eat."
Oh, wow.
Priorities, man.
Dude, that was rough.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the sound of your band now. So you had a history of playing metal. You're changing it up. How would you guys describe what the Grant Morrison Band is for people that have never heard you guys?
Yeah, well, the generic answer is, and probably the most honest one, is rock pop. But as far as describing our sound,
Like, what are some of your influences when you say that?
yeah, I pull a lot from Tom Waits.
Oh, I fucking love Tom Waits, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Jason hates him. Jason.
I like Tom.
I like some of his stuff now.
Yeah. So
Like it. He sounds like he gargles corkscrews. I fucking
Yeah.
love that shit.
he'd be a great death metal vocalist.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on
He's
now.
too weird for the scene.
Throwing
Fucking
confetti.
Bizarre guy.
Yeah, he is very bizarre.
Who are you? Where did you
That is
come
for
from?
sure.
You born in a taxi cab or what?
He's, a fucking,
Yeah.
he's the crooked man from Grimm's Tales.
Right?
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, so I pull a lot from Tom Waits. People like Joe Bonamassa are actually pretty cool to me too, and it's just kind of fascinating to see somebody like that who really puts on a good live show.
Yeah.
But that's really the only aspect of influence that I pull from that guy is how good they are live. And
you can totally sell me on a band that I don't typically like with a decent live show. You know what I mean?
Well,
I've talked about this story before. But there's a band called Down, Phil Anselmo's other band.
who?
Down.
No, I'm just
Oh,
playing.
fuck.
Yeah, come on, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm in the circuit.
You just said that you were like really into Joe Bonamassa. I don't know. No, but it was one of those things where it's like I was never a real big fan of that band, and then I happened to see them live one time, and I was like, all right, I get it. Like, I get it now. So,
Yeah, just the energy. Down's an energy band, man.
That was exactly what sold it. It was an energy band. And I've seen Joe Bonamassa, like, I think Victor Gann, the guy that produced the Diesel Beast album, is friends with Joe Bonamassa. Have you ever heard of Victor Gann?
I haven't, but I want to look
He's
him
like
up.
this fucking virtuoso guitar player. He's a killer fucking guitar player. Just a fucking great guy. Like, he's family to Diesel Beast for sure. Shout out to Victor. But he kind of has that Joe Bonamassa like real heavy rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like real high energy shit.
Yeah, and we've got a side of that, and we've got this other side that I don't know where that stuff comes from, dude. But it's just like, like I was listening to Italian music one day. When you're having like spaghetti or something and drinking some wine, you hear Italian music and it sets a nice mood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm probably drunk right now, but I really want to just make an Italian song. Mm-hmm. So So I scroll through my cheap Casio, right, and I find this octave accordion, and I mess with the attack and stuff and whatnot, and I start playing this song, and it just really kind of impacted me. And that's what's cool is you can do anything you want, and that's what's nice about having a band under your name. Is that you don't have to be specified to one genre.
I will give you that, and that is something that runs rampant in metal. Mm-hmm. Like, and I've even done it myself. Like, I've been at practice, and I'm like, man, that's too jazzy, or like, it's not heavy enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are certain criteria, I guess, you kind of strive to, to kind of achieve that sound. And when you do things like what you're saying, like pop rock, something that has kind of like this generic moniker attached to it that doesn't explain the music properly at all.
Right.
You can do any fucking thing you want.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And don't get me wrong, there's some avant-garde metal bands doing some pretty wild shit, but I mean, we're all still stomping on like fucking distortion pedals.
Metal Zone.
Screaming at everybody.
Shout out to Thomas.
So you're saying there's going to be a lot of surf rock on the next Diesel Beast album?
I fucking love surf rock.
Hey, R.I.P. to Dick Dale.
R.I.P. to Dick Dale. That guy can play the fuck out of that thing.
That's right.
You know who's pretty good at doing a fusion with surf rock is me, and I don't mean to classify them, but Mean Motor Scooter.
Oh yeah,
they're making a pretty big stink here in town, and they're like they're definitely like surf rock meets like Dead Kennedys, kind of punkish with a little bit of like grunge influence, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they're pretty cool.
It's a really powerful sound that those guys have. I've caught them before.
Yeah, it's an energy thing. With those
exactly.
cats.
Like their crowd goes nuts for them. Like they put on a really good show.
Right on. Where are they located out of? Do you know?
They're definitely Fort Worth based.
Okay.
They've gotten a lot of credit through Fort Worth Weekly and things like that. I really love them, and for us, we're trying to find.
Check that out.
Yeah, we're trying to find somebody we can really like cling on to.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really key.
Yeah.
Like is finding
build a
bands,
network,
that you can trade shows with and help each other out and stuff like
That's
that.
how this podcast got started. Is Diesel Beast played a show with Silver Tongue Devil one time, and then we just became friends after that. We traded shows and started podcasting.
So that's how you guys met each other.
Yeah.
Because you seem like just like you've become really tight.
We're buds.
Yeah. I mean, we've played a bunch of. We've been playing shows. I mean, I think the show that we played with them was like their second or third show.
Yeah, it was real early.
It was like real early.
Good. And you guys have been around for. You're established, dude. You guys are established. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean,
you got a sticker on the fucking the train track arm over there by Rubber Gloves.
Yeah.
There's a Silver Tongue Devil sticker on that motherfucker.
So we started in 2005. So we've been. This is our 14th year.
What was I doing in 2005? I was in a ska band in 2005.
Yeah.
You do have an eclectic.
Yeah, man. That's where I got all my speed.
That's right.
I got all mine from a guy named Jimmy behind,
Right,
McDonald's.
right.
But
You have a one-track mind. I think he's trying to like, confess something on the air here.
Right.
He's like, it's a joke. I swear I'm not on drugs.
Hey, dude.
Who does drugs anymore?
hey, man, what they don't see can't hurt us. You know what I'm saying?
This is an audio podcast. They can't see shit.
Yeah,
Right.
if you hear my lighter going, don't be surprised.
Right.
Don't be alarmed
Right.
either.
Yeah.
If you
Now, if
hear
you
the
hear-
sound of a spoon hitting the table,
Yeah, you're like a gas torch.
I don't hate or discriminate on people that use drugs or do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? If that's
I
what,
certainly don't.
if that's what makes you happy, and that's how you cope or forget or keep existing.
Right.
Some people read the Bible. Some
Right.
people. I'm not trying to compare doing smack with reading the Bible. You know what I mean?
I
But
kind of
Yeah,
am.
that's-
That's an opiate for the masses, right?
I mean, I
Or
get,
it was.
I get what you're saying. That's a stretch. I mean, what was it? I think it was Sinatra. He said something to the effect
I don't care
of,
what gets you through the night, whether it's Jack
Jack
Daniels
Daniels, a
or
Bible.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's the sentiment, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like to each their own, man. I mean, it's like whatever someone wants to do is as long as it's not impeding on somebody else, then knock yourself
It's
out.
up to the individual not to take it too far.
Yeah.
Sure. And you know what? It always ends in just rampant screaming public nudity.
Right?
Like whether you take religion way
And
too
bath
far
salts.
or way
Yeah.
too many drugs.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it can really degenerate into something very public and very naked.
Right?
But alcohol's legal, and it can be just as dangerous as any of that other stuff.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
absolutely.
More dangerous, I
For
think.
sure.
Yeah.
and that's coming from a seasoned veteran.
That's
right.
right.
Here. So
That's right.
it's
I
true.
am from
You heard it.
Kentucky. We know our liquor.
That's right.
Yeah, you do. Fuck yeah, you do.
Jack
Yeah.
Daniels sucks.
Being from Kentucky, have you had much moonshine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah,
it's the
my
best shit.
granddad, they used to bootleg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause he grew up in like 20s and 30s. I don't know when Prohibition lifted, but I used to bootleg up there all the time.
Lifted, I believe, 29.
I think it was not 29 or something like that.
I wasn't around back then, so
Yeah.
He could have been bootlegging liquor with his awesome grandpa.
damn.
We were playing a show with Diesel Beast in Lawton, Oklahoma. And hanging out before the show in the parking lot, and somebody from another band comes up and is like, "Hey, you want some moonshine?" It had it in the mason jar and everything, and it was like, "Sure."
Was it flavor or straight up?
Straight up?
Oh wow.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like fucking drinking.
That'll
jet
wake
fuel.
you up.
Yeah,
It was like-
yeah, it was. It's like I'm not gonna go blind from this, am I?
He was like, man, maybe.
No, we had somebody else taste it.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was some of the strongest liquor
He still
I've ever
sees.
had in my life.
yeah,
He still sees it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth it wasn't, but
No.
yeah,
His glasses are like 1 inch thick, but he still sees.
Those are always the guys that make the best moonshine.
that's right.
You know what I mean? I don't know what
Once
it
again,
is.
it's a commitment to the craft, just like fucking, homeboy drinks himself till he's puking on stage. These guys are like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the best moonshine in the world, but it's gonna cost me my sight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hardcore, man.
Yeah, it's illegal, and a lot of people, I don't know what's up. I guess club owners don't like the idea of beer break. Am I right? Or
Well, yeah. So Delton got in some trouble with Wits End because we were playing that show with them.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he brought like a trash can up on stage and puked up
with
there.
his name on it?
Yeah.
Right.
And then got a little splatter like on the monitors and stuff. Yeah. So he got yelled at a little bit, and they might not be playing Wits End anytime soon. But I mean, they're good guys, and they still play around. I mean, obviously we saw them at the Deep Ellum Metal Fest, so it's not like they've been blackballed.
Right.
But I do believe that they've been strongly advised to maybe tone it down a little bit.
So, what bodily fluids do you fling at the audience?
Right.
Oh,
Do you go full GG Allen?
Oh, wow. Start throwing poop and everything.
yeah. Is this on camera or
After
You
Ponchos.
know what I mean?
That'd be pretty awesome.
think
for a-
Ponchos is
a
still around.
rock pop show where it just like
That'd be great.
goes left turn, he goes
Girl!
totally
And
hardcore.
just chuck a turd.
Like, this is awesome.
Just got me and Craig in the back, like, yeah!
Listen to Warlord Radio.
Throw some poop again.
It's like that, like Gallagher. Everybody's got to wear plastic sheets in the front row,
Exactly. Oh, sledge-o-matic turd.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking disgusting.
smashing melons.
That'd be
Smashing
the most
Allens.
brutal shit.
That might be a
ever.
little before your time. Sorry.
Well,
You never seen Gallagher?
I just turned 26, man. I don't know, what if that's Generation X or before that, or I couldn't.
I don't
tell
even
you.
know what to say. That my beard's turning gray while you're talking.
You can't even see what I got.
He looks like Gandalf the Grey right now. Just
I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know who Gallagher is. I figured everybody knew who Gallagher was.
So
whether you love him or hate him. He's like the original prop comic, or maybe not the original, but certainly like the biggest. He was around in the 80s.
Yeah, he's an old school comic.
He's like before Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He said a lot of really racist, really homophobic shit, and then with Squash Fruit, it was hilarious.
Oh,
I
wow.
always thought his
It's out
stuff was
there.
pretty tame, but I'm not like
If you go back
a
and
devotee.
watch,
I haven't heard a lot, but the
first
things
off,
I've seen,
it is pretty tame. But when
like
and all
pretty
I'm
PG.
saying, it's PG, but when you watch it through like today's filter, it's
Yeah.
like, you can't say that shit on TV. Which,
Look,
I mean, it doesn't bug me personally, but I make those mental notes. I'm like, if this came out today, they would ruin this man's life.
the problem is like you can like pretty much like today it's like people can turn that into anything where it's like basically anything can get people riled up and cause offense, where it's like a movie that I still think is totally harmless. Like you could never in 100 million years do Blazing Saddles today.
Oh no!
And that's like one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Because it's properly executed satire.
Yeah.
Satire
And even
does not
something
fly with people.
and
People
even
get real
even
pissed
something
off
that's
their
just
bullshit.
silly like Airplane, like not in 100 million years would they do that today.
No, you
Yeah.
can't just have a pedophile as a character.
Right?
But what nobody wants to really talk about is sexuality. I mean, there's
Right.
all kinds of stuff getting pushed down our throats, on social media and shit, like pornographic images.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And like
I have
women
no
being sexualized and
idea
stuff. You know what I mean?
If
Like,
I had access to porn like you had access to porn when I was like in that age, because when I was a kid, if you wanted porn, you had to go out in the woods and look for some discarded pornography.
That's right. Yeah.
Or like find it
picture
under a
show.
bridge.
yeah, sneaking to an R-rated drive-in.
Dude,
Watch the scrambled titty channel.
Right.
Remember that one?
Right?
Yeah.
Find a discarded Playboy. Like,
What? There's also a really good article with Ayn Rand in here.
Thanks, Dad.
I think I'd have thrown my shoulder out or something.
Right?
Yeah. You see this football?
Like, I think it's tennis elbow.
I could throw this football clear over the mountains, boy.
That's
right.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Uncle, what was his name?
Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico, yeah.
Okay, see, because I didn't pick up on the Napoleon Dynamite. Like, I watched it and I thought it was funny and everything, but that part when Rico hucks that steak at him.
Oh, that's my favorite part. Knocks him off the bike.
Dude, I laughed so fucking hard. I cried, man. It was
He goes, I can
bad.
throw that football clear over them mountains.
Yeah.
And he goes like that. It's
But he threw that steak, and apparently,
Smacked him right in the face.
Right in the head.
yeah. He turned his wheel hard left.
Got taken out by a fucking sirloin. It was so funny.
But he didn't eat steak. If you watch the commentary, Uncle Rico, the character that played Uncle Rico, he hated steak,
Oh.
and he would not eat. Yeah, and if
He's
you
wrong. I mean.
yeah, but if you watch
Love steak.
closely, yeah, you see him spit. He'll chew it up, and then he'll spit it into a napkin, and kind of wipe his mouth off like.
No shit.
Weird.
Yeah, that was.
what were you smoking?
Right?
Wow. I told you that I'd be in
I
jail.
looked at it
Right
that
shit on
close.
that
I was
one.
like,
It's like, man, Uncle Rico didn't eat that steak.
spit
the
it back up
commentary.
in that napkin.
Yeah, didn't come into that.
Damn gummit.
So, what are the some of the places that you guys like to play now? Like, what's kind of the circuit for you guys?
Cool. Good question. We're trying to, like I said, we're trying to find on something we can cling into, but we also don't want to get pushed into a circuit.
You don't want to get pigeonholed.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah, and actually, we just played the Ridgely Room
Oh, cool.
not
Yeah.
that long ago. With for the Leslie Corbin Rockers Against ALS benefit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And love you, Leslie. That
Shout out to Leslie.
man, for real, she was so cool to us. She hooked us up with the 8 p.m. time slot.
Nice.
It was a great slot. We played with bands like Creeper, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, even Orthodox Fuzz was there.
Fuck yeah.
It's a pretty varied lineup. of bands?
Definitely varied, and it was really nice to be a part of that. When we showed up, it was packed out, and a lot of people try to fall into those circuits. And I've got some people telling me right now that, hey, dude, you shouldn't play metal shows. You shouldn't do this and that. Like maybe not a brutal death metal show. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of that's the click.
You can play like a stoner or doom show easily.
Right.
I mean, almost any rock band could at least like not fuck up the whole bill or something like that if they were playing, because doom and stoner has a lot of different blues and classical rock influence in it.
People call crop dust doom.
Right.
They are. God, they're slow. There's more. I don't know. Pig metal.
Pig metal.
Is that a thing?
Shout out to Abel then.
Is now. Yeah. What's up, Flesh Grinder?
What's up, Flesh Grinder?
Yeah.
So you guys played the Ridgely Room. Do you guys have any like favorite venues? I mean, obviously, like all of us are constantly trying to find like new places to play and get into bigger areas and stuff like that. But is there any place that you guys particularly like right now?
It's so early for us that we cannot really say. We played the Peppermill twice, which is actually...
Did you guys
That's
play
the
that?
fucking converted strip club out in Fort Worth, right?
It's been there since like the 70s or 50s.
Yeah,
or
and
like
it's got like
way-
mirrors and the smallest fucking stage in the world.
Yeah.
You played
Yes.
there, right?
I hate that fucking place, man. No, we booked that shit through Spencer from The Infamous. And I was like,
that
don't
was a
ever
while
book
back.
us here again, motherfucker.
Right.
I love him. Shout out to Spencer, you son of a bitch, for making me play a converted strip joint, you dick.
Dude,
Fucking chicken wings weren't even hot.
oh, wow. We packed that place out, dude.
Nice.
There was, I don't know what capacity is there. It can't be more than 160 people.
Yeah.
But
It's
still?
a small place.
Yeah, 100 people's a good show, no matter who
Fuck
you
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
If you play to 100 people, you're good. And we made some money that night
Oh yeah.
at the Peppermill, and we did New Year's, and then we did one deal.
I'll say this, the audience for that place is awesome. Like, those guys bought a shitload of t-shirts and records and stuff, but it was just, God, it was a shithole.
Well, a reality of band life is that you're definitely going to play shitholes. Like we were talking about, like Pitchers. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a shithole. We have a lot of good memories there, but it was a shithole for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
First time drinking Jägermeister.
And
Well-
we've played several others.
And last time. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so it's up in the air right now, and we're playing Twilight Lounge June 21st. It's this real dim lit kind of romantic. It's got a kitchen.
Nice.
They're Cajun style. They serve po' boys and stuff like that. So you go
What's
there.
it called? The Twilight Lounge?
It's called Twilight Lounge. There's one in Deep Ellum,
Yeah.
Okay.
and there's one in Fort Worth.
Which one are you playing?
We're playing Fort Worth.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny Bayless booked us from the ticket.
Oh, cool.
So we're pretty stoked on that. We were listening to them on the way over here, but so shout out to Danny, and that's gonna be cool. We play with Le Cube, this band called Sun Over Sea, and then it's us. We play a 2-hour set from 11 to 1.
Play a 2-hour set?
2-hour
Nice.
set. They're gonna take care of us, but that's going to be promising. There's a lot of really cool alternative bands playing there right now. So we want to feel that out and kind of see what that does. But definitely, we're looking to play more stages. Like, we want to play Flying Saucer and places like that.
Nice. I love the Flying
How
Saucer.
long have you guys been jamming live?
Oh, live.
Yeah.
Jason?
I would say maybe a year.
Okay.
As
Nice.
far as getting out there, I mean, we worked on it a lot before we got out there.
Sure.
And, had some lineup changes and all that. But, it's starting to pick up. And I think, this June 21st gig we got at Twilight, I think, we're going to knock it out.
It sounds like a really cool venue. Like, if you get
And
a
that's
house
kind
there,
of, we
2
just want
hours
to
a
keep
night.
stepping up. When we played the original room, it's bigger than the last, and we played better. So
Yeah.
if you do your best live.
Yeah. And we played that metal
Yeah,
show, and
people
they
talk,
still
too.
loved
Like,
us. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but I mean, like, people talk. Like, if
Yeah.
you're like, hey, man, that band's really good
And you-
live. Like,
Right.
And a real key, I think, is consistency.
Yeah.
Is just whatever works for you guys. You don't necessarily have to be playing like every weekend, but if you're consistently playing good tight sets and getting out in front of people, is you're gonna go forward. You're gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
just because
there's a million people out there. Like, there's gonna be a group of them that like your stuff, regardless of what you do. I could be out there playing a fucking sock golf ball and a xylophone or something.
And he keeps me in line. You know, he's a drummer too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that movie Whiplash, you know. It's not quite my tempo. You know?
Right.
It grinds me.
I throw a chair at you.
Yeah, I throw a chair at me next. You know, it's like, damn, I have to duck.
Do it again. Yeah, it's a trip, man. It's really cool. Yeah, we've been playing for a little over a year. We played a house party, like I said, Peppermill, Ridgely Room. Now we're moving our way up. But there's also some places near Twilight that are starting to accept metal bands.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it passed. I don't know if it passed or not. But I Am Destruction is actually playing.
Here, let me get these away.
Is actually going to play at Main at Southside, off of Main Street near Southside. And for everybody else that knows Mass, it's like an alternative rock venue.
Yeah.
And they've
primarily indie rock and stuff, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Which is where we want to get at.
Right on.
Because they have a good turnout and they have a younger crowd, which I think is important. You know, I think it's definitely important, and that's another thing that's cool about the metal scene is when you see young people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm one of them, so.
right.
Yeah, it's definitely generational.
Right.
Yeah. But
you guys should definitely play Denton.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
brother.
sure.
You guys would go
There's a
over
lot of good places
very
out here,
well
man.
in Denton.
Summer, this town empties out because the colleges,
Right.
and most of the older people that have already like graduated, moved on, or in college themselves come back. But like if you hit it like at the beginning of one of the semesters, like in the fall or the spring, you could draw a huge crowd at places like the Harvest House and what's that?
Dan
other one?
Silverleaf?
Dan Silverleaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those would be really good.
We'll
venues
try to
for
throw you
guys
some
are-
nice
some-
venues.
We'll try to throw you some contacts and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
but
sure,
yeah.
your sound
Definitely.
would definitely go over well in Denton
Yeah, it really would in this town.
because it's a college town.
You know,
It's full of
I
young
thought that
kids
too.
and like it's you guys got a good catchy sound. I was listening. I haven't had the opportunity to see live yet, but I have been jamming the 2 songs that you sent us to play.
Oh, good.
And I've checked out your stuff online, and
I
obviously
also
and
checked out
stuff.
some of your stuff online.
So,
Cool.
yeah, you guys should definitely seriously target Denton.
Yeah, also check out the LSA Burgers on the square. They've got an outdoor like rooftop venue.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
And
awesome.
anytime
I
you
love
play
that.
outside,
Backyard
you
on
can
Bell.
rock around.
Yeah.
Backyard on Bell too. You got to compete with the train.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bother me, but it makes Jason's head
I know.
explode.
His eye twitches every time I bring it
Every
up.
time you talk about Backyard on Bell, it's just like goddamn train.
Yeah. But yeah, there's actually like it's for metal and punk bands. There's like diminishing venues to play in Denton.
Well,
but
shifting.
But for different bands that have more of like a rock or like a pop sound to them. It's like there's actually more and more venues. There's probably like 4 or 5
there's
venues in Denton
A
that you guys
huge
could
market
play.
for that here.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of our friends go out there and they jam out there.
Don't move to Denton though. I've seen so many people do that. It's like they could do some really successful shows and then they move to Denton and then they just like smoke weed at their mom's house. It's like Denton can get kind of black hole-ish if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Well, is there a burn ban out here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is there? But they burn shit anyways, don't they?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that would be me. I would never get out. I love the country, man. It's kind of like a step away from the city out here. It's so nice, and the ride over here was so nice. It was just really like, the sunset on the way in was really beautiful and stuff, and it kind of set
We got
set
some
the
big
mood.
sky off in the horizon, that's for sure. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Then you can get out into Crum, and that's kind of crusty.
Yeah, Chrome. It's like the further you go that way, the deeper into rat tail country you go.
Oh yeah, up into like Denison and stuff like. But that's a ways out. Y'all ever been out in Denison?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Daniel lived out in Denison. God rest his soul. He passed away a few years ago, but we spent a lot of time out there, man. And
There used to be a bar I played out there all the time.
oh, Rockstar
Really?
Bar.
Biker bar. Break time?
Oh, break time. Okay.
Yeah, that might be in Sherman.
Probably was in Sherman actually.
Again, kind of a scuzzy shithole, but I love that place.
Apparently, there's a venue in Sherman called Clicks that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like they actually have like a decently sized touring acts that go through there.
Nice.
Yeah, I was talking with a band that recently played there, and they were shocked. They're like this like big stage and nice PA, and
Do they
they
do
weren't
like all kinds
expecting
of
it.
shit, or?
Yeah.
I mean, oh, right on. Yeah, check them out.
When the population's less than 1,000 people.
Well, that's what I like about. I've done a couple of shows just and like they're often just random, towns that aren't like main stops on a tour or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And whether they like what's going on stage or not,
They
fucking
show up.
everybody comes out because it's like the thing to do that night. It's awesome. Those shows are badass.
Yeah. People are just looking for something to do in a place like that. Here in Fort Worth, over in Fort Worth and Dallas, everything's so diluted.
Yeah, you got to promote. You got to be on your promotion game if you're playing in Dallas or Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, ain't nobody gonna show up.
Yeah. And
Shout out to Core Rousey.
yes. Burn.
It wasn't their fault. Their booker was a piece of shit.
Yeah. But
Can't
no,
be.
it's especially around here, lineup is key. Is like you got to be on a bill with bands that will pull some people.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just doesn't matter. It's like no one's just gonna show up.
Yeah.
No, because then there's other things to do. You know what I mean?
There's too many shows going on at the same time. So
Yep, and it's tough, and it's hard for us right now getting bands that want to play with us.
yeah.
I'll play with you guys. I don't give a fuck.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah,
Fucking
man.
Sounds great.
Bring the thunder.
Diesel's
Cage.
yeah, man. We fit in all kinds of weird places.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's cool because you hear like 5 death metal bands, and by the end of the night, you're like, okay, I get it. Like, fucking slam. I just got hit in the face 3 times. I'm tired of it.
Oh, that's constantly something that I rail about. Is like I can't stand it how it's like there'll be a night where every band sounds identical.
Yeah.
Like you cannot tell them
Like
sometimes.
I mean it is like I love a wide range of music and I love death metal, but I do not want to see 5 death metal bands in a row. That is boring as fuck.
It can be.
And by the same token, like my personality is, there's no way I would be able to tolerate like 5 country bands in a row or anything like that. I'm not talking shit, but what I'm saying is like it's really nice.
I'm of the same. Like if you have to watch 4 solid hours of the same brand of entertainment, why? You already saw it the first hour.
Yeah,
Why are you still there?
it just blends. Like by the end, it's just like all right, whatever.
I'm real
Go
ADD,
home.
so I think Grant's music is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys get to do like whatever the
'Cause
fuck you
we
want.
do.
I'm super jealous.
It's pretty cool.
Kind of a wide range. And
Yeah.
we're, some of the other stuff that we're working on, that hasn't been recorded yet. I mean, is
I have a question. You guys said at this Twilight Lounge show you're playing 2 hours. Is that mostly originals, all originals? Is there a bunch of covers in there? Like
we're going to throw some covers in there as well.
Yeah.
I think, at least 50-50 mix.
Nice. No, that's perfect. Yeah.
If you nail a cover good that somebody knows, and then they're more apt to listen to your original stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people do it 60-40 type stuff. They do more covers than originals while they're getting started.
Especially in venues like that where it's not,
60-40
it's different. Yeah.
Did I just throw off a different percentage than you?
Well, that's okay.
It
Right.
must be my frontman-itis.
It's Grant Morrison band,
Acting
so
He wasn't listening to you, I was. He can be
It don't matter to me.
I'm engaged.
That's right.
I get to play
Yeah.
drums. That's what's great.
So tell us about your kit, man. What kind of kit do you play on?
It's a Pacific. It's an X7. They made it for a couple of years. I've had it since, I think, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first kit I ever bought, brand new.
Nice.
And it was the last one they had of the color that I got. And I had to wait a couple weeks. It came from California.
What's your outfit like? Like, what were your Tom situation and whatnot?
Well, it's a 6-piece. It was originally a 7.
Nice.
But I kind of
away.
cut it down, the style of music we play and the way I've got it set up is for quick setup. In case, playing a bunch of bands, I want to get up there and
You
set
hear that,
up.
everybody? That is experience talking. I do the same shit, travel light.
Yeah.
So I got my tom suspended and I got, branch trees for the cymbals,
Never changes.
double kick pedal, which I use sparingly, but we use it occasionally.
So you're not busting out any death metal blast beats.
Well, I probably could,
Sure.
maybe for about 5 minutes.
please videotape that. I would love to see that.
I don't know how
Yeah.
much it would mesh with what everybody else is doing, but it could be an interesting take.
We got some blast beats. 3 Friends and the Ballad of the Second Ship. we just
Yeah.
recorded.
The end of Julia, kind of.
And the end of Julia,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's got some blasts in it. They're real
Yeah.
quick, But I've always wanted to use a blast beat in a rock song
Fuck
Yeah.
man.
Somewhere
because
fit it in.
Yeah, that it works because it's just something different. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
cool. And in
No, I like this whole concept of just like throwing whatever flavor you feel like at the the project. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we've got several influences in our band. Everybody kind of listens to something a little bit different. I noticed.
That's something we didn't ask. Who's not here? Like, who else is in the band that isn't?
Oh, good question. Thomas isn't here. We love you, T.
Shout out to T.
Shout out, dude.
Wade is not here. Thomas is the guitar player.
okay.
Yeah, rhythm guitar. He does some leads too, and he's got effing amazing tone.
Yeah.
What is he playing?
He has worked on it. That's for sure.
He's got a Fender. It's a Stratocaster.
Yeah.
He plays through his Strat, and he's actually sitting on a Marshall. He's on a half stack. I don't know what. It's not a JCM 800, but it's
It's a decent rig. Though.
a decent rig,
Yeah.
and he's got it dialed in. Marshalls are real tingy,
Yeah.
but he's pushing a lot through the Marshall, and he's running some pedals. And I swear to God, if he missed a note, it would still sound like gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he thinks about all day long, and he's got great tone right now. And then Wade, he plays. He's got a full rig, double tier keyboard set with it's a Roland. I don't know what brand.
Kurzweil.
And a Kurzweil.
Nice.
Yeah, which is great. It's perfect. He can do both hands at once.
I love, man, like, it has to be a good keyboardist. If you have,
he's
like,
good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you
he's
have
really
just
good.
a guy that just hits, like, makes the tone instead of not actually adding musicality to it, just tone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, it kind of, in my opinion, it just makes it kind of sound generic. It's really good to have like somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
Well, as a bass player, I mean, y'all are part of the rhythm section.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
He's a
Well,
very
backbone,
skilled
one might
pianist.
Right.
meat and potatoes.
I had to say pianist.
Right.
You can't say that on this show.
That's what he is. He's a skilled one.
Yeah, and Brian's our
It's a scaled penis.
Yeah.
Brian's our bass player. He's a fairly new addition to the band, but it's just gotten where he started to leave his rig at the studio,
Nice.
and
That makes it official.
yeah, pretty much he's locked in at this point. We were a 6-piece for a while. We had an extra guitar player,
Nope.
and it's like, man, you know what? This is way too much.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no point in me playing. I'm a lead player, so I want to take my solos, but also being so close to everything, you want to do the chorus.
Plus, if you're trying to do more intimate sit-down settings like you're talking
Yeah.
about, like a third guitar player is going to blow them out of the water. That's a
Right.
whole lot of fucking
Noise
Distortion.
to
noise
draw.
coming
Yeah.
at you at one time, especially if everybody's playing through Marshalls and shit.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to split the check
Yeah. Right.
that many ways.
Did you get paid?
Right?
Oh,
What?
We ain't even got paid yet.
Yeah.
All right, we have to take a quick break.
So we're going to play, we got a couple of songs from you. Which one would you like to play first in the show?
Definitely start with the upbeat song. It's called Until the Morning Comes.
Okay.
I actually wrote it for my girlfriend. But before her and I got together, I was living the rock star life, man. Smoke weed, drink beer every day. And then so me and her hooked up, and she's helped me kind of with several things, but also disciplining myself. Mm-hmm. And the times that we have together are really special, and it has made those times that much more worth it. So I was at the house one day, and I'm like,
El Alicia, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
El
El Alicia
Alicia.
is the biggest metalhead I've ever fucking met in my life, dude.
Shout out to Evalicia.
There you go. Shout out to Elvalicia.
Yep, I love you.
Yes.
She's awesome, dude.
You are a lucky man. She is the coolest person. You know what I mean? I'm drooling on myself.
I don't blame you.
That's all right. Carrick's caveman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you like guys, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, cool.
Really, just whoever's down.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And this is Until the Morning Comes.
sunshine rains down. The sun is shining in the street. And my heart skips a beat. And I've never been this high in my life. And I'm feeling just fine. Oh, I'm just so happy to be with you, my love. Until the morning comes. And I've never been this high in my life. And I'm feeling just fine. Oh, I am just so happy to be with you, my love. Until the morning comes.
I'm Grant Morrison,
I'm Jason Whitby.
and you're listening to the Warlord Radio Podcast.
Damn.
Nailed it.
There it is. And with that, we are back with the Grant Morrison Band.
You didn't start your timer again.
I know.
Consistency.
That's right. Now it's running.
Just go till the thing shuts off. When it's
couldn't-
dead, we're
I could not
done.
help it. Like, literally, I was looking at it and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. No, it is already coming
You
out
know,
of
it
my
is possible to run the show without the timer going. I just do it as a guide.
mouth. But then we
We
lost
don't,
all that
we,
content.
we don't have to be OCD about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Time's up.
But either way, either way.
We are with Jason and Grant from the Grant Morrison Project. We just got back from a smoke break. I actually want to talk a little bit about Alicia. Not a lot. She's her own person. She is entitled to her privacy. But she is 5 foot of the biggest metalhead I've ever met in my fucking life, dude.
Oh, she's brutal, dude. She's scary.
I know so many, like, big, giant Viking motherfuckers that don't go half as hard in the pit as she does. I know, like, metal elitists that don't have the knowledge of metal. That, like,
Yeah,
is
or the
fucking
hair.
Crazy. Yeah, or the hair.
Hey, I'm talking to two of them.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Not that y'all aren't metal,
man.
but-
we are the most follically challenged podcast on the internet.
That's right.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, she's pretty cool, man. She's, it's crazy because we've both been in metal for so long.
Yeah.
And she's always been there. Everybody always sees Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, man, I know you from somewhere. I've seen you at it.
Because she goes to every fucking show.
Yeah, dude. She's perfect.
Well, shout out to Ellen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Another thing we were talking about briefly on the break that I want to get more into is just the nitty gritty of how you guys run the band. So there's 5 of you. Where do you all practice?
Oh, we're on the east side of Fort Worth, over at a place called Avalon Studios.
Okay.
It's really nice, really affordable place to jam.
So is it
at.
one of those places where there's like a bunch of bands and they each rent a room?
Yeah, Demon Seed jams there.
Okay.
Yeah, so does the Steinax, Asylum, Mean Motor Scooter jams there as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
Those
Prophecy.
places are really cool for, like, just everybody meeting each other. We used to have one out here called Airlock, and I mean, you could do networking just outside smoking a cigarette, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you run into whoever the fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So that's where we're at, and it's nice to see. Sometimes you get bands that come in there and they will jam for a couple months, and you're like, dude, those guys are amazing, and then they're gone,
Right.
and you never know if they made it or if they fucking gave up.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
You
just
know.
like broke up
There
after.
are so many good bands that never make it past that first step, you know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
So many. I've like people that just jam in their living room, and I'm like, this is fucking hot as shit. What are you
Yeah.
guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we can't get everybody together on a Friday night, or
Yeah.
whatever the reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd like to hear more Brutality. Do y'all guys remember
Yeah,
Brutality?
the masked dudes, right?
Were they? Well, they're kind of like a.
Oh, I'm thinking of Brutal Harmony. My
Oh,
bad.
okay. No, Brutality.
Oh, yeah. I remember that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutality had Andrew Erickson Vasa,
Yeah.
keyboard player, who was in a band called Never Dead back in the day. and I have not heard those guys jam in months, man. Longer than that, yeah. And I'd like to see more of them around, but we don't have anybody like that at Avalon.
Yeah.
You know?
You heard it, metal bands. Go out to Avalon and fuck that place up.
Yeah. Shout out to Avalon, brother.
Fuck it up more than we have.
Right. So, what about like getting to shows? Do y'all just carpool? Everybody just drives themselves to wherever you're going, or do y'all have a van, or do you rent a trailer? Or
Man, I wish we had more of that, where we'd all go out and see shows together.
Yeah.
We got a truck, my Jeep,
Yep.
stuff
just,
like that.
Just
I
throw,
mean, if
throw,
we need to
throw,
get to,
throw your drums in the back of the Jeep, and
yeah, I've got a system.
yeah,
like you Tetris it in the same
Yeah,
way.
it's like Tetris. Yeah.
it goes in one way.
It goes in one way.
That's it.
Right. Fit
Right.
all that shit in here.
I just got to show up, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, well, frontman guitar is way easier than playing drums.
He's got
dude.
his little microphone case.
Right.
Yeah, I got my
Works
Britney
in.
Spears mic. You know, I put it on over my
That's
head.
Turn you off because like Ziggy's pretty good about showing up when the band shows up, like our new lead singer. But our original lead singer, I love Ghost. I love you, Ghost. You're a great dude. He'd show up like 2 minutes before the fucking show. He just
What's up, guys? Be
wander on
refreshed.
stage, yeah, be refreshed, and
Hey,
totally
what's up?
like loose.
Go right into it.
Yeah,
nice.
man. And then he'd be talking to everybody after the show because he hadn't been sitting there drinking for 5 hours waiting to go on stage or whatever the
Yeah.
Right.
It looked like a life of leisure, I guess is my point.
Smoking a cigarette out of a stem, just
Yes,
It's much too hot today.
that's awesome, dude.
greatness.
So yeah, man, that's a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, being frontman's really nice, dude. You know, I don't have like a staff or anything that I carry that I have to lug with me everywhere I go. Is that an actual? Is it
Oh, that
sharpened?
thing
Is
fucked
it?
somebody up?
Oh yeah.
I've seen you get like when people get too drunk and get too close to the stage or
Yeah.
do some stupid shit. I've seen you like kind of thrust it at them.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit,
I've had to do that a
yeah,
couple of times.
that is a legit spear that will fuck you up.
It is. For the people that are listening that don't know, when the band plays, I have this metal staff that's got like a 3-part pronged horn at the top, and it's got like a demon face in the middle. And it was 2 good friends of mine years ago gave it to me as a present, and they made it. Like they actually
Wow.
like cut the metal and fit it
Forged
together,
it and stuff.
and it unscrews at the halfway point, so I can.
Do you have
I
a
can-
traveling case
I can
for
put
it?
it together. No, I don't have like a pool cue case.
That would be awesome.
It wouldn't
though.
fit, but I wrap it in a blanket so that the edges won't poke anybody as I'm going through the club or anything like that.
Right.
So I'll break it down, but it screws together and it's got some weight behind it. And I absolutely could spear somebody right through the chest with that.
Oh yeah,
fucking
no,
thing.
it's gnarly, dude. It's
And I have
awesome.
cut myself with it a few times.
Oh, wow.
Just by accident, just because when you're on stage and you're moving around,
You're
and
moving.
you grab it, and it's like because the points will hang down, and
Yeah.
it's real easy for it just to like.
Well, I saw
slash
you play.
across.
I actually saw you guys play with Shiloh Death Squad,
Yeah.
Nice.
which was, I mean, for anybody, that's a milestone marker.
Oh yeah. Those
That's-
guys
yeah,
are.
those-
Those guys are so
They're
good. It's
fucking
retarded.
great.
Yeah.
And every show I've ever played with them, the place was like nuts to butts. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they're one of those bands that they'll play like once a year, once
Maybe.
every 2 years.
Yeah.
And they're legendary around the Denton area, and they're all great musicians. Their drummer is the drummer for King Diamond,
Yeah.
Matt Thompson.
Matt Thompson.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Matt's
Matt
a cool
Thompson.
dude. Yeah, dude. For
Uh,
real.
Fix to say he's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
What did Bat
when
Castle?
they played, they
Yeah.
were right out in
Yeah.
the middle. I was right behind him,
Yeah, he's
watching him. Man, it was incredible.
insanely. That's the thing about Shaolin Death Squad.
And all of them are.
It always
are
seems
amazing.
like there's 32 people in that band, but like everybody in that band is like operating at the height of
Yeah.
their capability. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, fuck,
It's amazing.
this band is good.
Yeah, just sit back and watch them. They're like, "Fuck these guys."
Yeah, the first time I ever saw him, I was so fucking mad I didn't think of that game at first. I was like, why didn't I think of fucking ninjas and kabuki masks? That
Right.
was rad.
It's just like the album.
Right.
I mean, wow.
And they're so tight on stage, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. They like never fuck up.
Yeah.
And they
I'm
hop
down
around
for it,
and
too.
look like they have a good time. But
Oh yeah.
when you guys played with him, what was that basement? What?
Yeah. It was like one of the final shows at the Abbey Underground.
at Abbey
Oh,
Underground.
yeah, I was at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
it's like 1,000 degrees in there.
Did we play that show?
I don't think you played that show, but we played another show with you right before it closed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's like 12 dudes on stage in Shaolin Death Squad. They're like hunched in their own little area.
Abby had a tiny stage, man. This thing was a shoebox.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember like Shaolin Death Squad would cram, and nobody in that band is like a little dude either.
No.
They're all big dudes, and it's just like, yeah, it's amazing watching them get them and all their equipment on that stage.
Yeah, it's a trip,
That's
dude.
crazy.
Yep. Yep.
But so like, yeah, nope, fucking lost it. That's one every show, right?
Right? At least one.
Well, you're talking about that staff that you have now.
Yeah.
Do you have a Red Devil costume with it?
No.
That'd be awesome if you
You
did.
did,
It's not a pitch
Well,
for
I
Jason.
do
Oh.
have like a cultist hood and robe that
cool.
I'll wear like occasionally, like at a Halloween show or something like that, just for fun. Where
Yeah.
I'll come out for like an intro of a song and wear it.
Well, if you know you got somebody taking pictures, like, you know, Delisa or Steven
Uh-huh.
Salter, yeah, shout out to both those two. I
Yeah.
mean, they take really good pictures.
So every once in a while I'll do something like that just for fun. But normally I don't. Normally I'm just...
It's hot, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, he's got that Iron Maiden shirt on, so
That's right,
I was
yeah.
thinking of the Number of the Beast, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
devil.
If you came out in a fucking red cartoon devil costume, I would sing your praises from the rooftop.
Right?
That would be awesome.
Nothing more metal than that.
Fucking amazing.
No, the hood is fun to wear, but it's just too restrictive. I move around too much, and I
Yeah.
can't stand like being constrained. And
Also,
like,
and you've seen him live.
Sure.
Craig headbangs with his entire body. Like it starts from his ankles and goes like he just whips his fucking head forward. It looks painful.
no,
And I would
Yeah, you're
imagine
into
that
it.
doing that with a hood on would be a pain in the ass.
yeah.
On, off.
Exactly.
That's funny, man.
So you guys typically caravan to shows, and you've got a pretty nice rehearsal studio. How do you like record demos and stuff? Like you've obviously got some recordings for us. Did you?
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Yeah, we're huge into pre-production.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the times, if I'm writing a new song, I'll record every instrument myself, right?
Yeah.
And I'll do it at Avalon through my Mac. I've got my Sapphire Pro 40, you know, Focusrite, all that crap, and I'll record through there and just get like as close to the sound I'm looking for as I can. And I'll solidify that, and then the guys will say, "Oh, that's great," or "Oh, that sucks. You could do this here, you know," or "It'd be better if you did this." And I'm like, you know, well, so we work on it, and then after that, we go to a studio in Carrollton called Empire Sound Studios.
Okay.
We
I've
were-
heard of that place.
Yeah, Alex Gerst is our engineer.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he's really cool in that he gives his input onto what he thinks you should or shouldn't be doing, which for a sound engineer, producer's kind of like a curse word.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like you should have your stuff together when you get here. I'm just here to record you and make you sound great. I shouldn't have to write your songs for you.
Right.
But he's really cool, and it helps to have those recordings because he can say, what kind of sound are you looking for here?
Yeah.
And instead of having to find the word to tell him, I can just give him the recording and say, well, this is pretty close. And he's like, okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And
that saves massive amounts of time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If you have a clear, concise view of what you're coming into the studio with,
Yeah.
that just saves so much time.
Well, that's the way
Yeah, he's
it's
got a
supposed
great
to be
ear.
done.
That is how it
yeah.
rarely goes down, though.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, some bands have their shit together. Sometimes people just have $500.
I truly can't imagine like being in Jason's shoes and having to record random bands.
I couldn't do it. I'd fucking lose it.
Yeah, like just because like I mean I know like you know what it's like when we've gone in the studio and it's like I mean it's a painful, tedious process when you know exactly what you want to do, much less trying to coax a performance out of someone, you know, and try to and they'd be like, well, I don't really know what goes here, but you know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know what goes there? Like,
You've only been playing those songs for how long, right?
Yeah, no, seriously.
And y'all are big into pre-production. I mean,
You have to be in heavy metal.
at least I know y'all have y'all stuff together. I mean, do you guys record demos and stuff too? Or?
not really. No, like the thing that we'll do is, I mean, we'll record songs like on our phone, and then like listen to them and dissect them.
That counts.
And then play them a lot during practice, and then demo them live, like, and just try it out and see how it goes. And we'll be like, that part sucked live. That's not working.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. And then after we do that enough times, we'll be confident enough to be like, yeah, that's good. You know.
Y'all just got done doing some recording too.
Yeah, we just recorded our new album, so we're waiting on the mixes.
Great.
On the new album, so
That's freaking awesome, dude. Who'd you guys record through?
we went through. It's the same guy that recorded our last album. His name is Rob. He goes by Rob Sturcraw online, like on Facebook and Twitter, and he runs what's now called Squid Pie Printing. He does band merch. So
Cool.
if anybody needs any kind of
It's a good connection to have.
shirts, banners, stickers, like hit up Squid Pie Printing. He lives out in Wiley.
wow.
So for years he had a studio that he would record bands at, and we met him through some friends of ours, and we were going to be part of a demo CD that was just going to be like a bunch of bands, and it was going to be like us and Hood Rat and Incinerator and a bunch of other bands I can't remember.
Incinerator's pretty dope, dude.
And yeah,
They're true.
And we recorded the song for him, and it went great, and it was really cool. And then we're like, well, actually, we're going to be recording an album, and we did our last album with him. And then about a year or more ago, the studio that he recorded at, which is in Mesquite, got the roof ripped off it in a storm.
Oh,
And
wow.
the whole place got flooded.
Fuck.
And
Wow.
so the studio was trashed, but he was able to salvage all of his equipment.
Wow.
And like at least all
Got
of the
lucky as fuck.
all of the expensive stuff anyway,
Yeah.
he was able to save. So now he just basically records. He scaled back the recording. He does mainly the screen printing, but he still records, but now out of his house. So you can go to his house and he's got it. You know, he's got it isolated and he's got it soundproofed and stuff like that. And we just
That's all you need.
recorded our new album out of his house.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
all you need. We just did a song with Alex a few days ago, and he took all the room. He's got this huge drum room. He took all the room mics out and just captured the sound of the drums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that sounds freaking great. You know,
Yeah.
that's all you need, and just to have a clean, crisp sound. If you got some baffling, some soundproofing in there.
For drums especially, like the room is everything.
Yeah.
Like wherever you record, it's like the room will make or break how the drums sound
Yeah.
in
Yep.
the recording process.
That's for sure.
Because you can either make it sound like real small
Sound bitter.
or huge
no.
and
not bitter.
boomy.
Yeah,
you know?
robust.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, Jason, when you tracked with us, that was your first time at Empire.
Yeah.
Now, you've recorded several times with other bands,
Yeah.
but, I mean, you seem pretty enthusiastic about going to that place.
Yeah, this is very nice. Very nice place.
Decent drummer in the
Yeah. Great drums, great room.
very cool.
Guy knows what he's doing. I mean,
Yeah, he's
it's
recorded.
definitely the most professional I've ever been with.
Nice.
So,
That
Yeah.
counts a lot in an engineer, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It really does.
and he's an awesome drummer too. So,
that's really key. I mean, I think a huge part of the recording process is like having someone that knows what they're doing behind the board. Is like that is like so huge because technology definitely is now at the point where you know you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want like in your bedroom and that's great.
It doesn't
and-
mean it's going to be quality.
but yeah, is
We still talking about recording?
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
not porn. That's different.
You're doing behind closed doors.
Yeah.
It's the internet
With-
business.
Yeah, with you and your webcam, it's
This
cool.
is not a reflection of the band. Just saying, or the podcast.
But no, having a good skilled engineer is huge and so key if you want your stuff to sound good. is you just have to go with somebody good.
Yeah, and it's cool because, of course you got the $1 million board always that Led Zeppelin recorded on and AC/DC and blah, 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 blah. But with, like you said, with technology now, for somebody who's got that knowledge of working the board with the knowledge of dialing in presets, preamps, and reamping things digitally through the computer is like, that's where the real magic happens, because you have access to thousands of presets.
You have to have a really advanced knowledge of that system to properly work that shit, and that's where a good engineer would come in.
Yeah.
A good engineer would sit there and dissect that shit and pick it apart and game. Like, he would learn as much of those samples or the preamps or whatever the software is he's using. He would learn the ins and outs of that software as much as possible. You know what I mean? And that's because you'll get a guy that's like, yeah, man, I got Pro Tools. And it's like, that's not the fucking same. I know you got Pro Tools. That's great. But I need a guy that like has Pro Tools and uses it to do stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
If you guys haven't yet, you guys need to listen to Diesel Beast album, because sonically, like just the quality of the recording
We
is.
busted ass on that
I
shit.
think it's the best local release out of last year.
Yeah.
Last year, really?
It was just about a year ago that it came out, right?
Last March, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, being at the CD release show, and you guys, packed out the Abbey Underground. But I mean, it just sonically, the recording, it sounds full and warm and epic and huge. And the fact that they did it all themselves, and all credit to Jason. And what he
guitar
did.
player and the guy that runs, he's our producer for this show.
Okay, yeah.
He's an incredible fucking sound engineer. He really is. If he was here, I wouldn't even be saying this. I'd be like talking shit.
Yeah.
Since he's not here, he's actually really good. He's also the best outdoor sound guy I've ever met in my life. Because mixing sound outdoors is rough.
Yeah, it's different. The humidity and everything can take away from your tone. And
Jason knows exactly like what to adjust to balance it out, and he also knows how to use the echo off like surrounding buildings and shit to bounce back for a fuller sound. Like, it's crazy the amount of detail he goes into.
Which is also hilarious to watch him lose his shit when
Fuck
sound
yeah,
is
it
not
is.
optimal. Because if they're playing a show and like another sound man doesn't know as much as him, which is very probable, is you can just see his eye twitching.
He's got the twitch.
As he's trying to tell him, like, well, you should. Could you just
I don't wanna
fix
tell
the
you to
wedges
remember
here?
forward.
And the guy's like, I got it, and it's like.
Not to him.
Yeah.
Not to him. That's like John Elway trying to teach you how to throw a football, and you're like, I think I got it.
Yeah.
That's how old I am. I just referenced John Elway.
Nice.
Fuck, what's he up to? He's dead?
I'm still pretty sure he's king of Denver.
He's the general manager for the Broncos.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know. If it doesn't have the word mania in the title, I usually don't
Oh.
watch it.
That's why I have Jason around, because he's real knowledgeable.
There you go.
Yeah.
Speak-
If you want
speak-
useless details.
Speaking of, were you pleased with WrestleMania?
Actually, WrestleMania did not suck this year. It's kind of sucked last year. I was very happy with WrestleMania this
There you
year
go.
for the most part.
Carrick's a huge WrestleMania fan,
Like,
wrestling
I'm a
fan.
pro wrestling fan. I used to be a pro wrestler. Like, it's,
Yeah, you fit the description.
yeah, I
like we were
fucking
kind
love
of.
it. This is an engineered look. You know what I mean? Like,
Now, they had a wrestling place off of 26 over in North Richland Hills for a while.
yeah, the Rampage All Star Wrestling.
Yeah.
yeah. I was their ring announcer, and
Oh, really?
They couldn't pay me, so they trained me.
Yeah, I work at the Huggins Honda right across the street.
Oh, right on. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, we had a blast over there. I think they opened it back up. I haven't been back with them since, but I guess he had to go away
I think
for
it's
a while.
I think it's a laser tag place now, or is that a?
Laser tag's fun as shit too.
Yeah, I think it is a
Oh,
laser
yeah.
tag place.
Take some mushrooms and go have a good time.
No, you know what I did, man?
These aren't even lasers.
I swear to God, we'll get back to the interview in a minute. But I went and played laser tag with my 5-year-old son about 3 weeks ago. And I didn't stretch. I'm at the age that if I'm about to work out or do anything fucking physical,
You ever see a
I
lion
have to
stretch before it takes down a gazelle?
Right?
Fuck, dude. Man, I came out of laser tag. I felt cool for about a minute, and then my thighs just locked up. They just fucking, and then they stayed locked up for like 2 days. I was walking around like I had 2 wooden legs. It was
Like
fucking
Charlie
terrible.
horses, real bad.
Yeah, and meanwhile, my kid's just like, that was fun, Dad, let's go again. And I'm just like, fuck, buddy? I don't think so. Dad needs some icy hot.
Right?
Icy.
Just pour some whiskey on it, you'll be all right.
But I mean, even if I'm lifting weights at the gym, I have to stretch or I'm gonna fuck myself up. Like,
Yeah.
It's just not gonna work.
It's true.
Whiskey
Stretching is
helps
key.
after, but not before. Don't exercise drunk, you will barf.
Right. Now, high is different, but
Well, yeah, that loosens up your joints.
Yeah.
Plus, it makes you really groovy with the music.
I can't do either one, dude. I can't drink before I work out, and I cannot smoke before I work out. And if I do it after, it's got to be a while after I get done, because I'm like coming down off the adrenaline. You know what I mean? I'm so pumped up, and I'm like, this is like doing uppers and downers, man. It's
speedball
My heart
action.
feels weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I might die.
Am I breathing or?
Tell you what I did make the mistake of doing is I went and visited my sister in Colorado. And let me say, those guys know what the fuck they're doing with weed in Colorado. But I sat...
Took you to a different
Take a
level.
hint,
Yeah.
Texas.
I went
Right.
to a sauna.
Come on now.
And so I was super baked and went in the sauna. And
Legalize it.
I puked and sweated out all the weed, so I wasn't even high after I got out. I was just like, this is fucking terrible. I feel like my skin's shrinking.
Yeah, they got some potent stuff down there, man.
Oh,
I mean, really. Were you on edibles or were you?
Well, I was on fucking everything, dude. I had been in Colorado maybe 2 days. I went a little ape shit the first time.
Yeah, I know.
The first time I walked into a dispensary, I was just like, this place is fucking amazing.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
got
gotta have
Fat Kid
that.
in the candy
I gotta
shop.
do that.
Yeah,
That's
give me all your
basically what I
cookies.
did. Dude, I dropped so much cash the first day. My wife was like, what are you doing? We're going to
I
be
want
here
one
for
of
a
these
week."
and one of these and one of these.
Yeah, you should be gambling.
Right?
For some reason, I like to take my brain for a walk. That's a much more solid investment.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Just put on Mob Rules by Black Sabbath and you're good.
Oh, man.
Oh,
no,
yeah. I
'cause
love that album.
Yeah, man. That was so much Sabbath and sleep.
Yeah.
It was doom
Sleep,
metal weekend.
right?
I was fucking, God, I was wasted
Dude,
on
sleep would make you feel like you were listening to it for like 3 days.
It did.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them live?
I haven't had the opportunity yet.
They're a doom metal band from...
I want to say Oregon, but I could be wrong.
I
on
could
that.
be wrong too, but...
I do think it's the
Yeah,
Northwest.
but they're this classic doom metal band. They play so fucking slow.
Yeah.
But they're really, really powerful. And the thing about doom metal is they make up for all the speed they lose with overwhelming volume.
Yeah.
And it fucking hurts to listen to sometimes.
Right.
But Sleep played here in Denton on the square one time.
What?
For like a,
Wow.
like Fry Street Fair or some shit like that, or Utopia. And I was at Ghost House over behind the Kroger, like halfway across town, and I was like, it's Sleep?
Yeah.
And I started to listen, and I could like clearly hear Sleep songs
Yeah.
from the fucking square, which is like probably a good 7 miles
Yeah.
from Ghost House.
Like through half of Denton.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like,
insane.
That's
It's
cool.
so
I think
good.
they play with Mothership.
Yeah,
sometimes.
they have played with Mothership
Yeah,
before.
I think their guitar player's kin to somebody from Orthodox Fuzz.
Perhaps.
It's-
Matt Pike.
I think.
no, Matt Pike's high on fire.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's not in Sleep anymore.
No.
One of them are kin to John from Orthodox Fuzz.
Yeah.
We saw
Orthodox Fuzz has a lot of not similarities to Sleep necessarily, but I mean I could definitely see them
Loud.
on Sleep Bill for sure.
Yeah, they're loud and a lot of fuzz.
Yeah, I've played with those guys a bunch of times. They have the perfect mix of like Gibson guitars and orange cabs.
Orange cabs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Orange cabs are huge in that stoner doom scene.
Fuck yeah. I mean, it's not a cab. I play through a combo, but I
Yeah.
love it, man. What do you play through, man?
Oh, I got a Fender Mustang 4.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all digital, you know, and I've got a little 4-channel foot switcher that I use that I really need to upgrade from. I'm looking to invest in some pedals, especially since Thomas, our guitar player, has come around.
Yeah.
He's just totally stepped up his game, and I'm looking to kind of branch out, and I haven't quite found something yet that I
That's
can
a
settle
slippery
on.
slope. You're going to be one of those dudes that has like 47 pedals lining the front of the stage.
Oh, you mean like DJ from Oberon?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Use all of those. I dare you to use all of those in this show.
I'll fuck with him. I'll be like, "What's this one do?" And I'll turn a knob. He's like, "Don't fucking touch that."
Be like Petrucci or somebody.
They're heavy on the effects, dude.
Yeah.
Oberon's pretty cool. I just, I got my Epiphone Les Paul. It's a really simple, basic setup.
Yeah.
And I just rock it with what I've got. And it's good enough for now. I don't spend a whole lot of money on my rig and stuff. I just try to keep music coming.
You don't always need, unless you have a specific need for all of those effects, in my opinion, you don't need all of that if what you're going for is kind of a cleaner, more concise sound. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can really muddy shit up if, somebody, because you've been playing for years. There's always that guitar player that can't get off his fucking wah for 2 seconds.
Right.
And it's just like, come on, man. You have other shit.
Where's Jason? We got the Kirk Hammett reference.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jason.
Kirk Hammett's a badass, but, for what you guys are talking about, it's like, come on, man. It's just...
Well, for any style of music, I've heard so many, blues is the worst. Because when you hit a blues solo, in my opinion, unless you have a really specific thing in mind, you need a clean-ass piercing solo for a blues song. You don't need to fucking sit there and make it sound like you're playing underwater.
Right.
It doesn't... the Chicago blues dudes were really big on that shit, and it just totally turned me off of that scene.
Right.
Because I tend to skew more Delta.
Right.
And older with it.
Yeah, more vintagey.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like you walk in and you hear a guitar player and a drummer jamming, and it's like, that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds freaking awesome. There's a band in town that's a 2-piece, Stone Machine Electric.
I have not heard of them.
Yeah,
I know who they are.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
they're real doomy kind of, but their tone. It's just a guitar player and a drummer, and just together. You wouldn't be able to tell that there wasn't a bass player.
There's a Denton band called Painus.
Yeah.
That,
Painus.
Fuck yeah.
Painus.
Shout out to Painus. Shout out to Joey and Josh.
2-piece, the same thing, where it's just guitar, vocalist, and drums.
Yeah.
But they got a full ass sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They completely fill out a room.
Well, even y'all, when you guys play, John will play bass or he'll play guitar.
Uh-huh.
And when you guys are jamming, it's like, oh, I didn't even know that there wasn't a bass player. I wonder half the time if people even really know. Tone is everything,
sure,
dude, and it doesn't take much to really captivate somebody.
Yeah, I tend to play a lot of counter melodies and I almost play in a style that's like, hey motherfucker, there's a bass here.
Yeah.
I really everything that I put in, because I play it's a goth Thunderbird through a big muff and an orange combo amp.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
That's
it.
I just get these really nasty, rumbly, deep tones out of this thing. And I will, I can get that to soar over the sound when I need to. I can get it to blend when I need to. I can link up and, really hit a snare roll with the drummer or something like that. And then, still be able to, slide down and, back up the guitar.
It's like just using an overdrive,
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
That's all. I just know how to use it.
Yeah, that's all you need, dude. Simple's better.
Yeah. I love to play off a bass player that does that, too.
Yeah.
Plays, there's a certain bass line.
Mm-hmm.
And I can play
within, and that's
tie
how
it back
works,
in,
and then that's
play
exactly
intricacy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
You can split the sound off, and then everybody, or you can both be doing your own thing as long as it comes back around at the right time, and it's perfect.
Was that Geezer Sabbath influence? Because it's essentially like lead bass.
Yeah, I've been told I play lead bass before.
Nope, that's great.
They were not meaning it in a complimentary light. I don't believe. I think the dude was kind of pissed off, but
fuck him.
whatever. You should have fucking played sicker guitar.
I love Geezer.
Keep up.
Yeah, he's my favorite Geezer. Geezer's hands down probably my favorite bass player out of all of them.
Yeah, Geezer's really freaking tight, man. Who else played lead bass? Oh, Cliff.
Cliff Burton, fuck yeah. Cliff Burton's an amazing bass player.
He used some wah too, and some things of that nature, but he kind of, made it his own. Mm-hmm. Nobody's ever, if you heard anything like it now, you'd be like, okay, well, I've heard that before. There's only one. There will only ever be one.
Yeah.
Cliff Burton.
So yeah, I just think it was because when I was like 13 or whatever, I was like listening to like Flea and shit.
Sounds like Highlander.
And Primus.
Highlander?
Yeah, right.
There can only be one.
Hell yeah.
Absorb his powers.
What about like Steve Harris?
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
Harris is amazingly solid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love Steve Harris.
Great riff writer.
Yeah.
You know, he's just
Well, he's an unusual instance of like essentially like the
I'm
bass
gonna
player.
play mostly triplets.
Well, in
Yeah.
writing most of the compositions.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's amazing what he does. Like he's kind of undersung, you know what I mean? Like a lot of I'll ask people that don't even know who Steve Harris is, and I'm like, you better take that Iron Maiden shirt off for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's part of their sound. It's so iconic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
His
mean,
bass playing.
Yeah,
So,
from that first track on Killers, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first thing you hear on that album is bass, and loud bass.
Yeah.
That gallops through, and that's because we've talked about that on the show. Because like you mentioned Cliff Burton earlier, and then they went to Jason Newsted and mixed him completely out of the fucking album. Basically.
Oh, yeah.
So it's Metallica.
Treated him like trash too.
Yeah, they did, man. I said one time that I think I would like Metallica more if I never saw My Kind of Monster or Some Kind of Monster, whatever it was called.
Was that your post online?
I think it was.
I think that was recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was painful.
It was. I thought it was going to be like a rock doc and it was their therapy session. I was like, you guys are really fucking mean to your bass player.
yeah.
You know who else was
That's
good? Played for Megadeth.
Oh, Dave Ellefson.
Dave Ellefson, dude. Yeah, dude. And
I got a fucking DVD of his when I was small, and like, I learned so much from like 10 minutes of that fucking DVD. It was insane.
yeah, he's got his own coffee out.
No shit.
Yeah, he's
I
like
think
one of those Joe Perry type entrepreneurs that like is a really good guitar player, but also like invests in things like hot sauce and coffee and stupid shit like that. That
You have to diversify your funds for sure.
his coffee is awesome.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's I don't
I'll
know.
look it up.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking.
It's
Megadeth coffee.
Fuck yeah! I'm
Megadeth.
hoping that's what it is.
Right?
It's like bean cells or
Bean cells.
Bean salesman, who's you're buying
Yeah.
instead of who's buying.
Yeah.
You're buying it.
I'm gonna look this up. Megadeth coffee. I'm gonna crack the case. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Right?
It's really good.
So
Well,
you
I enjoy a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Where from? This is still loading.
Whatever convenience store is around.
QT sells crack coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They're like, it's so sweet and like,
It's just the Ellison Coffee Company.
is it really just Ellefson coffee?
there it is.
Well, shit, dude. Speaks for itself, man. It's great.
There is something called the Museum of Death, which is a Megadeth coffee shop.
No.
Or
Is it in
used to be.
Arizona? Where's it at?
It is in Jackson, Florida.
Huh.
Jackson, Minnesota.
Huh.
What the fuck? Yeah, Museum of Death, Megadeth coffee shop.
Is that where Dave's from? No, Dave's from the Bay Area, right?
I believe so. He talks like somebody from the Bay Area. He's kind of.
No, they weren't a Bay Area band. They were an LA band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the same thing with Metallica. Metallica started in LA and then moved to
Just blew up
to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bay Area was Exodus, Death Angel, Testament.
Not Overkill. Overkill's from
No,
a completely
Overkill's
different
East
place.
Coast.
Anthrax is from New York, right?
Anthrax
Yeah.
is New York.
Okay. Okay. See, I know my stuff.
Yeah. he passes the quiz.
Yeah, generic information test.
So, what have you been listening to lately? What's been burning through your speaker?
It's been really weird, man. Cause like my mom turned me on to Tom Waits and stuff, and she passed like a couple months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, man, that sucks. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, it's tough. So I've like tried to find something that I can get behind, really. And the guys are getting tired of hearing the Devlon Lamar trio on YouTube, which is just an organ trio. And I've been
Check that out.
yeah, dude. I've been getting into a lot of like really soul stuff, like Charles Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys ever listen to that guy. He's dead now, but he's like picks up from James Brown.
Okay.
And he's got the look, man, and they they ask him, he's like True Grit. And they're like, where do you get your clothes from? And he just goes to like Goodwill and stuff and picks up stuff that he can. But when he's on stage, he totally rocks it, and it's just really soulful kind of stuff. I'm really hungry now for something new because I've covered I feel like everything at this point. And Jason, you turned me onto some stuff.
What do you listen to, Jason?
I guess it's more the progressive side,
Yeah.
I really got into Tool because of Danny Carey.
Yeah, it's that
Great drummer.
And that's what kind of style I used to gravitate towards. There's a lot of 3s and 5s and stuff like that. But
Have either of you guys ever heard of a band called 3?
Never listened to him.
I would highly recommend you check them out. I'm not entirely sure that they're still
say that.
jamming.
Okay.
But I saw them on a compilation disc for Metal Blade, where they were playing a showcase with all Metal Blade bands. And it was, like Black Dahlia Murder and Goat Whore and a bunch of like death metal, extreme metal bands. Yeah. They are not that. They are much closer to like a proggy, heavier version. I mean, it's unfair to compare them to like Tool or Opeth, but it's kind of in that ballpark. Right. Where the guitar player, the singer, has a very unusual voice, and he will play acoustic guitar that's a mix of like flamenco and slap.
That's fucking cool.
They're a 6-piece where they have a full-time drummer, and then they've got another guy like off to the side playing like a stand-up, not bongos, but they're like full-size like kettle drums on the side.
Timbales.
Yeah, and they've got a electric guitar player that'll shred, but mixed that with the acoustic guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It's very out there, very proggy, but really fucking good. And if you're into that kind of like unusual kind of explorative prog metal, I highly recommend a band called 3.
We'll play them Sunday night when we practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 times a week.
But, I stoner rock. And there's a band called Carnival.
I've heard of Carnival.
Yeah, I think they're broke up now, though.
I think they are, but actually,
Australia.
I just heard about them. But they are really wild.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a trip.
Yeah.
Kind of have that like kind of dark cabaret feel almost. With
Yeah,
like
a little
some
bit,
rock
a
and
little
roll.
bit Tool influence too. Kind of that same.
Just a little.
I would say more poppy.
Yeah, well, they use like spookier lines, I guess.
Yeah.
Like where Tool would use like something really aggressive, theirs kind of falls a little more spooky sounding. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's really cool. What are you doing?
I'm totally not trying to do that.
Craig decides the interview's over. He's just going to listen to Spotify.
No, I was just trying to find something.
Yeah, send it to me. I mean,
I will. I will for sure. Anything else like?
What shows do you have coming up? When's the Twilight Lounge show? Did you say?
June 21st. We go on at 11 p.m. We play for 2 hours. It's a little later than we're used to, but you know what? 11's not that late. The kitchen will be open.
Dude, that's what time we start most of the time.
Yeah.
We're not even getting to the club until 9:30.
I know, dude.
I bet you don't miss that.
That's when the drinks are the best, man.
I tell you, we played a show in Shreveport. I mean, we played there a few times, but the first time we played there, we did not realize that they party until like 6 a.m. there. Because they got the casinos there. So like around here and around most places, like bars have to shut down by like 2.
Right.
And
unless you're on the east side of Fort Worth,
right?
That's different.
Yeah. And so we were playing our first show in Shreveport, and we were supposed to open the show, and we had trouble getting out of Dallas, and we're kind of running late, and so we're on the road, and it's like 3.5 hours from here. And I'm like frantically like messaging like the promoter. I'm like, I'm so sorry, we're running late. We'll be ready to play as soon as we get there.
It's a horrible feeling.
He's like, so when do you think you'll be here? It's like, man, it's like I know we're supposed to be first, but it might be as late as like 10. He's like, whatever, just whenever you get here. And we're like, what? Okay. So we get there about 10. Promoter's not there. Sound man's not there.
Oh,
they're not even started
yet.
There's
like an older lady at the door, and we're like, "There's a show here tonight, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, it'll start around midnight, 12:30." And we're like, "What?" They're like, yeah, with the casinos here, we don't have to shut down till 6.
Oh
They're
my
like, people
God.
didn't even start going out until midnight.
It's when you have you some of that Ellison coffee.
I am not
Right
shitting
there.
you. We started playing at 1 a.m.
Fuck.
The show ended at 5.
Bro, I'll be tired.
Yeah, and then we drove back
It's bad when
after
Diesel
that.
Beast is like, nah, fuck
But
that.
it was like at 3:30 in the morning, people were going hard. I was like,
I go
wow.
hard at 3:30 in the morning, but I don't know if I can still be doing shit.
Right.
I'm going hard.
I go hard in a Waffle House or IHOP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you get some grease and salt in
Oh,
the
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Smothered and covered.
Around these parts.
Yeah.
Fuck that. 5 in the morning.
But yeah,
shows.
Shreveport, they like to
If
party.
I'm walking out of a show and the sunlight hits my eyes,
Yeah.
I think I'd just fucking hiss at it like
Yeah.
a vampire.
It's weird.
It's like Daywalker.
It is very weird to still have your buzz and be driving home and the sun's coming up and it's like, this is not
Because in
right.
Texas, when you do that, you fucked up.
Yeah.
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 Hear that walk
Yeah.
of shame, man. It's like,
Totally.
Oh no, the
man, that
birds
girl
are
was
chirping.
gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
Was.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
do us a favor and intro the second song that we're going to play.
well, I got one more question before we skip to the song.
Okay.
Because I was going to ask, where can we find you guys online? If somebody's looking for Grant Morrison Project, like, where are we going?
Well, the name of our band, the name of the band is the Grant Morrison Band. But if you're on,
Oh, Grant Morrison Band. I'm sorry.
you said project
I did.
earlier. It's, you know what? It's fine. We go under Grant Morrison Band on Facebook.
Okay.
If you just type in Grant Morrison, and usually it'll come up. It says band. The link is at Smack the World, and that will be our CD release late this year.
Cool.
And
So-
is that the name of the album, Smack the World?
Smack the World.
Okay.
Yeah, which was Jason's
You're
idea.
not on drugs?
I think I was at the time. What was that?
Not much
It
has
was like
changed.
every 30 minutes, so it's like, yeah, I probably
Something
was.
different. Yeah,
Well
yeah.
played.
Yeah, so no, Smack the World, but yeah, Grant Morrison Band, you can find us online. If you type in Grant Sexton Morrison on YouTube, it'll pull up some of my videos. And that's it for now, man. We don't have a website per se or any of that stuff.
Does it ever piss you off that if you just type in Grant Morrison to YouTube, you get a fat comic book author talking about chaos magic?
No,
Yeah.
that has actually helped us.
Yeah, I'll bet, actually. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You should tell people that the band is named after him and not you.
That'd be hilarious. Like, I'm Pete Jones.
You guys could have pulled a Pink Floyd. You could have like just come up with this is the Brian Smith project, and it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
Like, who the fuck is
which one's Brian? No one. What are you,
You
talking
don't know?
about?
It's like Grant Toll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sitting on
Morrison.
a hard bench.
Yeah. Jim Morrison.
I had an old roommate that was unapologetically just a huge lover of Jethro Tull.
I'm
And
a
I
huge
just,
lover of Jethro Tull.
Locomotive Breath. I love
man.
that song.
Songs from the Wood is my jam. That whole fucking album is great.
I had a hard time with that.
I'll bet you just don't like flutes.
Flutes.
In general.
Yeah. I've got a buddy that opened up for Ian Anderson.
Oh, yeah?
Shit, his
Yeah.
solo thing that he had going on.
Yeah, they came through Bass Hall, and she was a stagehand. Her name's Peggy Kirk. Shout out, Peggy. You'll probably never hear this, but what's up? So,
Hey,
Sure,
we've got
yeah, man, we have an audience.
we have
People
tens
listen
of
to shit.
people that
There's-
listen to.
There are so many people that scroll past this shit every day. You have no idea.
dude, you got to be on the Facebook first.
You got to be on the Facebook.
yeah.
So my grandma.
And if you know it's the Facebook, then you probably ain't on it.
You on the Facebook, boy?
What you doing on that? Yeah, but she opened up for Ian Anderson at Bass Hall
That's
one time.
awesome.
Nice.
She loaded in the show. She had her C wrench in her pocket, you know, and she just got done doing electrics, and the opening act, whoever it was, backed out, and they're like, "Does anybody here play guitar?" And she's like, "I play guitar." So they just ran through. They said, "Play us something." She played them something. They loved it. She went out on stage and just serenaded 1,000 people, however many people.
That's a
Bass
crazy
Hall.
experience, man.
That would not be nerve wracking at all.
Actually,
Yeah.
nah, man. When you play in front of over 1,000 people, you get all that energy.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, but like not like being prepared.
Oh yeah, no, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
Like
be
no,
fucking
the
insane.
audience part would be awesome. I just mean just the idea of like on the spot where you're not like mentally ready and it's just like, oh hey, Craig, just step up there, just play anything.
But see, I would though because I'm me and I'm fucking crazy.
What if somebody shouts Freebird?
Right?
I'll
You
throw
wanna
my
play?
beer at you. And call me the breeze. That's what I'll do.
That's the beer rushing by your head. It's the breeze.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they call me the breeze. Anyway,
So the last song, right?
Yes.
yes.
The last song we're gonna do is, that y'all will hear is "Time." We did "Time" a few months ago with Alex Gerst, and
You all went to jail.
he took it. Yeah, we did "Time." That's right.
Yeah.
we were in the pokey.
Good catch, Carrot.
There you go.
Hard time.
Hard, real hard.
Boy.
Yep. So it's like 3 and some minutes long. So enjoy it. If you like what you hear, definitely like and subscribe to our YouTube or our Facebook. And thank you guys so much for having us here.
No,
Yes,
thank you.
Warlord.
Thanks for
Appreciate it
coming
very
out, for
much.
Sure.
Yeah, see, it wasn't too painful, right?
No. I mean, being an outsider and all, that wasn't too bad. You guys are real homies.
Trust me, you're not going to get more outsider than either of us.
Fuck no.
I'd rather be insider. but
We're
that's just me.
we're the outsiders of the outsiders. It's like it's good.
We're the people that the weirdos don't talk to.
Yeah.
Right at home, man.
No, we thank you guys for coming out. Thank you out there for listening to Warlord Radio Podcast. Give us a like and a subscribe as well. Leave a comment. I might get frosty and respond to it. I don't
That's
know.
right. But definitely check out the Grant Morrison band. They got big
Band,
things,
not project.
They
Like I
got-
said
Yes.
like 4 times.
right?
I
It
like
was-
Alan Parsons.
yeah.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
dated.
Thought that was
Alan
Clever
Parsons project.
Right? All right, take it easy, guys.
Sitting under the sun, waiting for you, but you never come. I'm stuck here all alone. The blood it fills my shoes. The bullet rips an open wound. Now I'm dying on the ground, waiting for you. An angry, violent wind blows through the city streets. It makes the buildings sway. They buckle and they break. Oh, what a catastrophe!